Yes guys, I'm Si. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Cardiff City World. And boy oh boy have we got some stuff to talk about. This is 5 things we learned from Northampton 1, Cardiff City 3. And what a performance, what a win. A proper gritty, ugly, sideways rain, in your face away day at Northampton. And those young Bluebirds are learning. They only went, they dug in and they got the win. It was a huge reaction after the, what could you call it, a capitulation against Blackpool before the international break. It wasn't perfect. I don't think it was the most polished performance that we've had, but it was certainly full of character and bravery, big moments, and some real signs of growth from a young team. But let's get into it. 5 things. So, number 1, Ruben Colwill's importance to our build-up was on full display here, and in both sides of it. So, City started really, really well. First sort of 10 minutes or so were really good. Got a deserved goal, and honestly, it was some nice, slick phase 1 build up into this, and we built up through the middle, which was really interesting because we're so often a very wide team, and that's an adjustment in itself. In that, where we've struggled on the smaller pitches at times away from home is because we've still tried to do loads of switches. We still tried to play with width. Now you can still use the width, but of course you got to adjust, and we had rotations, we had overloads through the middle, and it looked really clean. Ryan Wintle sitting, Joel Colwill up and down, and we were finding Ruben Colwill in acres of space. He was doing really well, just knitting it all together. Everything was going through him. Cardiff looked good, and you thought this could be a pleasant afternoon. And then it's that moment, he takes a nasty one straight on the ankle. You could see it straight away, the way he reacted. He was in a lot of pain. The physio said to sub him when he came on to treat him straight away. Ruben wanted to, fair play to him, tried to play on, but he couldn't put any weight on it. He could barely get his boot on. He comes off, and after that we really, really struggled. Unfortunately, the news after the game seems to be that he's in a boot and he's on crutches. My only hope is that tends to be the norm now with impact injuries, and hopefully it is an impact injury, and when the swelling goes down and they do scans and x-rays, he'll be all right and he won't be out for too long. But it didn't look promising, let's be honest. And after that, our ability to break lines, our ability to get on the ball and build through the thirds, it just vanished. Now, I thought it was a bit of a weird choice to go with David Turnbull. I thought there was other options which would have helped us maintain the way we were playing, but I'm not a manager, and in fairness to David Turnbull, I thought he was really good in the second half. But those interchanges between Ruben, Pacquiao, Joel, Salic looked dangerous because Ruben's getting on the ball in space. It all was gone. People underestimate how important Ruben is to our first phase into the second phase, and when he's on the pitch, when he's off the pitch, we do seem to struggle to knit those moments together. When he's on the pitch, I think the entire team plays a bit higher, we look a bit sharper, and also Ruben's pressing is massive. No one seems to press quite like he does in terms of those short sprints, but we're going to have to deal with it because I would imagine he's certainly going to be out for a game or two. His absence hurt us in the game and in the moment, and probably until that triple change later on was when we were able to get on the ball and get control of the game a little bit more. But look, let's hope genuinely it's just a precaution. But number 2, and these were the 2 real standout outfield players defensively, certainly for me, Joel Bagan and Callum Chambers. I can't split them. We'll start with Bagan. I thought, look, his consistency and his reliability this season has been unreal. He is been the walking definition of what you want. Like, he just literally, his decision making is superb. He knows exactly when to overlap, when to cross early from deep, when to get in behind the fullback, when to invert into the midfield and help out Ryan Wintle with the build up or defensively. And he knows when to stay, when to go, knows when to switch play. He's just improved massively this year again. And I think if he keeps delivering crosses like he was and balls like he was in towards the back post and in towards Salic will get those goals that we expected him to get, even though he scored a few. Bagan's quality from wide areas is a big part of Cardiff City's play, and I think he could easily go and do this in the Championship as well, I've got to say, because I think he's got better. I thought he was pretty good last year in fairness and was very unlucky not to play more. And then Callum Chambers, he's taken some stick at times this season, and probably fairly at points. including the Blackpool second half, where I didn't really get it, what he was doing. But like everyone else against Blackpool in that second half, wasn't great. But last night, his leadership was outstanding. Body on the line, big clearances in the box, big blocks, calm when bringing the ball out and when to bring it out and when to sit, organising those around him. And Will Fisher's fitness is still being managed, you can see that. And Will had a real tricky night against his former teammate Ethan Wheatley. Ethan Wheatley was direct, he was pacey, they were using him really well, putting the ball in the channels. Will Fisher had a book in, so he couldn't make a challenge when Ethan Wheatley scores. But he still managed to make a couple of really good big blocks towards the end. But Chambers is vital because, yes, Fish and Lawler are probably our first choice pairing. But Fish has got an injury which we've got to manage. Lawler's young in his first season of full professional football. So Callum Chambers has to be able to just slot in and deliver performances like this. And look, if he performs like this, he'd rightly be in the side. But right now, I think, or yesterday, that defensive structure was massive. And Callum Chambers and Joe Bagan were absolutely exemplary in that. Number 3, this young side is learning, it is growing, and it is maturing. And the third point, and this might actually be my favourite point in some ways, because this young team, and it is young, is learning. And they're properly learning. When Ruben went off, Northampton started to switch play a bit quicker. They went long into the channels and they tried to isolate our fullbacks or get in between the centre-back and the fullbacks. Last season or under previous managers, even at certain points this year, we would have crumbled. But not this time. We didn't panic, didn't rush out of position, didn't just go chasing the ball, didn't turn it into a basketball game. Instead, they held their shape, defended as a team, they communicated constantly, and they just waited for the right opportunities to go forward. Would I like to see us be a bit more attacking and play some beautiful football? Yeah, of course I would. But away from home in League One, you've got to be able to dig in. And there are moments in that second half where I did think we were going to pay for some missed chances. The Wintle one, the Salic header where he probably doesn't need to push him in the back. These little things, I was like, oh, are we going to pay for this later on? But then, that one moment, that turnover, Ronan Capaccio, just determination and skill and stubbornness to not give up, wins the ball, hits him on the break with his pace, lays it into Willock, and obviously bangs it in the top corner. But it's that sort of unity, the sort of concentration, especially away from home in that weather. That's how you get those big points on the road. Those type of results, those type of performances are what end up getting you promoted. It's not the 3-4-0 victories at home and you're coasting. This is a sign of a team building a bit of resilience. Not for the first time, they did really well away from home. Number 4, Brian Barry Murphy's triple substitution changed the game, and his game management again swung the game in Cardiff's favour. I've said this a few times this season now. Brian Barry Murphy's in-game changes have been a real strength for him. Northampton were growing into the game. They'd got their equaliser. They were looking strong, particularly after Ruben went off and sort of around that sort of hour mark. It was getting a bit messy. Cardiff's build-up was a bit messy. It wasn't quite as slick. The tempo was starting to drop. Joel Colwill had got a big cut on his knee just after half-time, so he was struggling. I didn't really like Turnbull in the 10 in the first half. It just didn't have any flow. But then that triple changes everything. So you had Perry NG, Alex Robertson, Chris Willock come on. Instantly there was a change in everything Cardiff did. Perry gave us a bit of physicality on the right. It allowed Ronan Capaccio to push up onto the right wing, so it gave us that solidity on the right hand side. But it also gave Will Fish a bit of support from a physical point of view. Perry NG won his aerial duels, won his duels, got us a little bit higher up the pitch. Alex Robertson was calm, sharp and positive. He brought a real tempo to Cardiff's passing, when to speed it up, when to keep hold of the ball, composure. He got around the pitch really well, and he adds a little bit. He's got a bit of aggression about him, which I like as well. He gave Ryan Wintle some support and protected him a little bit. But honestly, actually, as good as Robertson was on the ball and going forward, I thought he was really good and a really big part of Cardiff getting control of the game. His defensive work really stood out for me, and he's not the only sub whose defensive work, by the way, really stood out. But he was excellent. A few really, really intelligent defensive blocks, getting his body across, just always seems to be in the right place at the right time defensively, which is really positive. And I thought Alex Robertson coming on brought David Turnbull into the game in the number 10. He allowed him, he was just, Turnbull then began to link things up and just pop it off. I always say Turnbull looks better when he plays off minimal touches, but he always seems to want more. Second half, he did start to link the play and he did all right. And I think Robertson helped him a lot with that, because Robertson will always pass the ball and then he looks to get it back all the time. And I think that's what this team needs. Chris Willock, this guy is having a real regeneration this season, and we're getting to witness it. He pressed so well. He made 2 goal-saving tackles in his own box. He beat his man repeatedly. He just looked so sharp, and he delivered quality balls into the box. And then, of course, the cherry on top, absolute postage stamp, top corner in the 90th minute, top bins, game over. The 3 of them completely changed the momentum in Cardiff's favour, and they gave us control for the first time since Ruben had gone off. That's good game management. It's good coaching, and it's knowing which players can do which job. And I know some people were crying out for Callum Robinson. I get it, but I don't think yesterday was the game for him. This was exactly what we needed in a tight game, and it paid off. Number 5, Nathan Trott. That's it. That's the point. Nathan Trott. Honestly, I don't really know what to say about it. I don't even know how to dress it up. Nathan Trott made 2 absolutely world-class saves in the space of 10 minutes when the game was on a knife edge. At that moment, Northampton were building momentum, belief. They'd had a couple of close chances. Ethan Wheatley thinks he's scored. Keeper saves it, and it took a deflection. Then Ethan Wheatley gets the ball off Ryan Wintle, and they've got a 2-on-1. He lays it across. They think it's a point-blank range, just a tap in, back across the keeper in the corner, and it's 2-2. But no, Nathan Trott just arm going the other way completely. Just absolutely unbelievable. And his distribution, look, long balls are always going to be hit and miss, because that's the nature of them from a keeper. But it's when he's got the ball at your feet, at his feet, you just don't worry. You don't think he's going to slip. You don't think he's going to pass it to the opposition. And I genuinely think, like, hand on heart, he's already saved us about 15 points this season, or saved or gained 15 points this season. And we're in November. He is by far the best goalkeeper we have had in a long time. And Cardiff just have to get promoted so they can sign him. That's just the only reason. Obviously not, but there we go. A couple of honourable mentions before we finish. Ryan Wintle back in the side. Instantly just gives us that bit of solidity, bit of direction. He did tire late on. He probably should have scored in the second half, and he gave the ball away for that one chance. But look, his all-round contribution far outweighed that. Covered so much ground, gives that structure, that calmness, and I thought him and Robertson together was really good. But Joel Colwill was also excellent, by the way. The cut on the knee seemed to just stop his mobility a bit. Yusuf Salic, this lad, the way he celebrated getting a foul given to him towards the end of the game was absolute gold. But the reason is clear for that. He gets battered every single week, and yesterday was no different. He got dragged, he got thrown to the floor, he got kicked off the board, he got elbowed, he got wrestled. Didn't react once, didn't even look angry with it, not once. His pressing was relentless, his hold-up play was decent, his runs caused mayhem. He deserved a goal. Obviously had the one disallowed where he probably does give the defender a bit of a nudge, but you can understand why. He deserved a goal. He absolutely deserved his place in this 11, especially away from home. When you're up against 2, sometimes 3 centre-backs, it's got to be him. And I think he earns his spot. Like, I understand people will say, oh, you know, he didn't score a goal, but like, his contribution to games like that is invaluable. We have no one else who can do that. And if referees were fair to him, it would be a whole different thing, I think. But there we go. A massive win for this young Cardiff City side. A win built on heart, desire, organisation, and a little sprinkle of BBM game management in the second half. Plenty to improve on, of course. Plenty to work on. But great reaction to the Blackpool game. A real shift. A great result. But let me know in the comments. What did you think? Who stood out for you? Who impressed you? who needs to improve. And as always, please do like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll be back tonight with the Breakdown podcast, where we'll get into it all. The most interactive podcast on the channel. It is the flagship, so please do join me. It's always a good time on a Sunday night. Until then, I bid you farewell. Keep the faith, and I'll see you in a bit. Nice one. This channel is powered by an incredible membership community on Cardiff City World and patreon.com/AcePodcastNation. Becoming a member unlocks exclusive rewards, from early access to live event tickets, bonus content, and even the occasional inside transfer scoop when we get it. But more importantly, it allows us to bring you top quality Cardiff City content 7 days a week. Across those 7 days, we're talking match previews, exclusive interviews, instant match reactions, the Breakdown podcast, tactical deep dives, the Spotlight series, Bluebirds Rewind, Academy Focus, and just so much more. Led by myself, backed by an army of passionate Cardiff City fans, this is content created by fans for fans, balanced, professional, and 100% all about the club we all love. If you enjoy what we do, then join the community today and support what we are doing as we help to keep Cardiff City World flying high.